what I want to now go through is the cell referencing. Okay, so let us see cell referencing. Okay, suppose that, okay, you have, okay, in this cell 20. Okay, you have in this cell 20, and I want to create content like this. So I want to add, let's say, 100 on this 120. Okay, so I want to add 100 on this 120. Okay, and I got 140. Let's say we create it like this. So format painter. Okay, so I want it to be like 140. Okay, so here it is 140. I have added 20 over this. Okay, now what I want is, I want to create a matrix. So let me create a matrix and show how it can be achieved. So what I have is, this is the data set I have. Okay, and I want to add 120 on this. So if I add 120 on this, I get 140. Okay, 120 on this 150, 120 on this 160. So I am adding 120 on this, and I am getting these values. So what I want is, I want to get this value, okay, by adding 120 on this data set. Okay, similarly, if I add 120 over here, okay, so I get 140, but instead of getting 150 in this second column, I want 140. Here also I want 140. Here I want 141, 141, 141. So these are achieved through addition of 120 on this data set. But note that, okay, in Excel we have two type of referencing. So we have two type of referencing. One type is known as your relative referencing. Okay, and another is your absolute referencing. Okay, and then you have some combination of this relative and absolute. Okay, in relative referencing, what happens is, okay, you have, let's say, suppose you are in column C1, okay, cell C1, and then this is your D1, and then you are in cell E1. Okay, and then you are in C2, okay, D2, and then your E2. Okay, now I want to add, okay, whatever the values are there in C1, on that I want to add 100. Okay, and then if I drag it, what will happen is, this value will be D1 plus 100, and this value will be E1 plus 100. Okay, so when you add C1 with 100, when you drag it, it will become like this. And when you drag it down, okay, what will happen is, okay, this C1, it will change to C2, okay, plus 100. So what you find over here is, from C you are moving to D, okay, but this 1 is remaining constant. From D you are moving to E. So whenever you are dragging across, okay, that is across the column, okay, you find that the cell values are the C is changing to D and it is changing to E, but this, so that column is changing but the row is remaining constant, because these are all in one row. Okay, but when you are dragging it vertically down, okay, so your column it remains same as C, but your row it changes from 1 to 2, right? So this is what we have, is a relative referencing. So what I see over here is, let's say suppose on this I add 120, okay, so I got 140. Okay, and if I drag it here, okay, so what I have is over here B12, C12, and this is your D12. So this is dragged across. Okay, so what has happened is, column have changed, row have remained the same, 12. Okay, now if I drag this down, okay, what is happening is, over here is B12, this is B13. So column remains same B, but the rows have changed from 12 to 13. Okay, and then from 13 to 14. Okay, and so what I do is, so rather than dragging only this one, we can drag this entire thing. Okay, and what you see, this and this is exactly the same. Okay, so 140, 150, 160, so this is good. But how do I get this value 140? Okay, so this here is 140. So if you see 140, you will get this 140 only when you add on this 20 120. okay, and here also you are adding on this 20, here also you are adding on this 20, okay, so you are not adding on this 30 40. It means that, okay, when you are adding the values over here, okay, you are referring only to this B12. Okay, now what we can do is, okay, we can achieve this, I'll show you how we can achieve. So what I have is over here B12. Okay, now here B12, okay, we can have, if I say over here, so we have, let's say C1, okay, we can have multiple things. Okay, we can say that we will write like this $C1. Okay, when I write $C1, it means that I am fixing column. Okay, I am fixing column, and when I drag it, okay, so when I write $C1 and I drag it, okay, what will happen is, because this $C is fixed, okay, so it will become only C1, it will not change. So when you are dragging, the C is fixed, so it will not change to D and E. Okay, but when you are going down, okay, since this one is not fixed, it will become $C2 and it will become $C3. So this one is not fixed, it will change like this. So let's see over here how to change to dollar. Okay, what you have is, if you press F4 button, okay, if you press F4 button, what you see is $2 are there, but I want only $1. I will press F4 button again. Okay, what I see is the dollar is in 12, but I want dollar is in B. So if I press again F4, I will get dollar in B, and I press enter. Okay, so what I have is, now I have $B12 plus 120. Now if I see, if I drag it, okay, so what you see over here is $B and $B. It is, what you are saying is, this B, the column is absolute, the column is fixed. Okay, you will not change the column. But when you, from $B12, if you go down, okay, you see that $B13 and $B14. So 12, 13, 14 it has become. So this is changing. Okay, right? So rather than doing for one, if I do the entire, so you find that over here it is B13, B14. Okay, so B13, B14. So what you got is, okay, you got the values, whatever the value in the first column, it will be the same in the second column, and they're same in the third column. So it is, what we have is a absolute referencing of the column.